The year was 1774. On the 16th of October, Robert Fergusson, promising poet and clerk in Edinburgh, died in the city's bedlam, aged 24. His literary output was small, with 50 poems in English and 33 in Scots. This was the immediate poetic predecessor to Robert Burns, and whose life would later become romanticised as tragic and all too short. Elsewhere in that very same year, the UK was in the midst of a general election, with tensions brewing in the American colonies. In Edinburgh, the Enlightenment was in full flower. David Hume was living in St Andrew Square, and nearby, Robert Adam had begun construction on General Register House, and James Boswell was living in David Hume's old house in James Court, having just survived a tour of Scotland with Samuel Johnson. Fergusson had rubbed shoulders with these famous figures, a man longing to be part of this intellectual world, and yet doomed by circumstances to move in parallel with it. He now lies in Canongate Kirkyard, an unpretentious plot with the admiring additions of two other great Roberts of Scottish poetry, Burns and Stevenson. His brief life was eventful. Born in the atmospherically named Cap and Feather Close on the 5th of September 1750, he would go on to be educated in Edinburgh, Dundee and St Andrews University. Though posterity presents him as a man torn apart by melancholy, it's useful to remember too a vivacious personality, known for brilliant satire and practical jokes. Fergusson's early promise was countered by his responsibilities to his family, and when his father died in 1767, the teenager found work as a copyist to support his mother. Fortunately for him, he was able to cultivate a very full social life in at least two of his favourite clubs, the Cape and the Robin Hood Society. His poetry, inspired by the ancient Romans, is full of brilliant detail, but today it's his Scots poems that we remember most. Without the example of Allan Ramsay, it's possible these may never have existed. The most effective bring the sights, sounds and smells of enlightened Edinburgh to life in a way that no engraving or painting can. Old Riki, Warle Ilka town, that Scotland kens beneath the moon. So goes the inscription beneath Fergusson's statue outside of his resting place in Canongate Graveyard, designed by David Annand, presiding here since 2004. His tomb itself, a cumulative charitable feat, sponsored by his biggest fan, Robert Burns, and finalised much later by Robert Louis Stevenson. Let me to Arthur's seat pursue, where bonny pastures meet the view, and mony a wild lorn scene a cruise, befitting Willie Shakespeare's muse. These lines are as fitting now as they were in the 1770s, and also reveal Fergusson's pride in a capital which he knew had become a haven for writers. Should there be a Fergusson night to celebrate as an autumnal counterpoint to the world-famous Burns equivalent? The case has been well made by a number of admirers in print and online. Certainly, no other Scottish poet captures the storm and stress of the 18th century the way he did. No other balances the darkness of depression with a cheeky sense of wonder and mischief. I can only add my voice to this chorus of approval. Come this 5th of September, let's raise a voice and toast to a man who was much more than just the hero of Robbie Burns. And when you think about it, that's not such a bad recommendation.